Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we discuss on some interesting updates. We'll start with this report claiming that Barcelona fringe players to get chance in the upcoming games as Xavi plans to rotate, preparing for Champions League group stages. We are going to discuss on that as we progress. Secondly, talking about this other report claiming that Barca are expecting 346 million euros per season revenue once the new Camp Nou is fully operational. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into it in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe, turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Once the international break gets over, Barcelona will have a tight schedule at their hands at the UEFA Champions League group stage is set to kick off this month. Having played just one game a week thus far, Barca will now have to deal with two matches per week moving forward. And considering that a number of Barca players will be returning after representing their national teams, there will be some fatigue setting in as well. So, as such, Sergio Capdevila of Sport is reporting that Barcelona manager Xavi Hernandez will now rotate his troops for the upcoming matches against Real Betis and Royal Antwerp. Barca will be playing the two games in the space of 72 hours as they take on Betis in La Liga on Saturday before hosting Royal Antwerp in their first Champions League game next Tuesday. So far this season, Xavi has not tweaked the lineup that much, only making exceptions due to the injuries to Ronald Araujo, Pedri and Alejandro Balde, and Rafinha's suspension. But considering the international matches as well as two important games coming up back to back, rotations will be on the cards. This should pave the way for some of the fringe players who have not played much this season to get an opportunity. Ferran Torres has scored two goals from the bench this term and could be in line for his first start of the season, with Robert Lewandowski having played 180 minutes for Poland over the past few days. Marcos Alonso is another player who could get a look in at left back, while Fermin Lopez, who has made just one appearance so far, could also stand to benefit. New signing Inigo Martinez made his debut against Osasuna and could be poised for some game time in the upcoming matches. First captain Sergio Roberto could also be a beneficiary. Of course, with the weeks ahead, we see many teams having a lot of games choked up. Now the Champions League group stages starts next weekday, and Barcelona are trying to, ensure that. In fact, let me say, Xavi definitely will have to do rotation because we have good players, we have a good bench, and we expect Xavi to do some rotations. We play against Real Betis on Saturday, of course, which will be a tricky game because Betis is no small team. But Xavi is expected, according to reports, to do some rotations. Even though we play against Royal Antwerp, many people can see it on paper as a very soft match for Barca. On paper, Barca needs to win that first group stage game as easily as they can, because we know the team. But honestly, you can't predict football, and Xavi doesn't want to just minimize the fact that we are playing Royal Antwerp in our first game. And of course he still wants to do some rotations. I don't think he will do a lot of rotations, by the way, on Saturday against Betis, but I think the rotations will still be there because considering that he needs to, at least every player needs to have some game time. There are players that haven't still played since La Liga started. There are players that have played very few minutes, of course. So I think we can see some players. For me, I think players like Ferran Torres, for instance, needs to start. He has been in good form. and I believe that he deserves a start. After 4 games in La Liga, which we haven't seen Ferran Torres playing, even like he has not even started any of them, being coming from like he comes from the bench and give direct impact. I think Xavi should be at least motivated by that to start him against Betis. It's just my suggestion. I don't know if that is what Xavi would do. Now, I mean, there are other players that Xavi needs to entrust them and give them a chance, because I think if Xavi knows how to rotate, especially as we are getting into the heart of the season, when other competitions come into play, then I think it will be something good to satisfy the players and give them the trust that whenever they enter the pitch, they can also make an impact and help the team. So we just have to see how it goes on Saturday, which will be the match day 5 in La Liga, before we play on Tuesday in the first group stage game against Royal Antwerp, which will be a game that we all expect Barca to win, even though we know that nowadays Barca can shock anybody and it wouldn't be surprising for an upset. But I know definitely that we need to go into that group and try to top that group by all means, because honestly, with all due respect to the other teams, we are supposed to top the group, not to be second, because I think if Barca if we are the runners up in that group, then many fans will be disappointed about that, because the group on paper should be a group where we dominate completely. Then on to the final story of discussion. Barcelona are planning to trade at the Estadi Olympic Luis companies this season due to the ongoing renovation project at Spotify Camp Nou. However, a recent report from Sport has pointed out the benefits Barca stand to gain once the renovation project is completed. As per the report, Barcelona are expecting to earn €346 million once the renovation project at Camp Nou is complete and fully operational from June 2026. Among these new elements, the museum itself is expected to generate a revenue of almost €80 million per season if everything goes according to plan. As part of the Aspire Barca project, Barca are not only increasing the capacity at Camp Nou, but also adding a new museum and enhancing the product and services. The project is also in line with Barcelona's plan to make Camp Nou more than just a football stadium. The new VIP boxes and the increase in tourists may also play a key role in reviving up the earnings at Camp Nou, which could go a long way in helping Barcelona ease their financial burden. Apart from the museum, Barca are banking on other avenues, with the club expecting to generate close to €74 million from ticketing and another €77 million from hospitality VIP boxes. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.